What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. We're doing something a little bit different today, but it connects back to our latest update on the channel, and that is we're going to be doing a team selection video for the franchise that we're going to be doing here on MLB The Show 21. So if you guys are tuned into the broadcast, feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. I will be monitoring them, and we can, take your feedback on which team to pick. We basically have a couple of short lists here that we're going to be going through the teams that people have left comments on the video. We're going to be going through my list of teams and things like that I want to potentially do it with, and we're going to eventually boil it down to one team that we're going to do franchise mode with. Now, today we are joined by Diamond King 5923. Check out his YouTube and Twitch channel, and while I do an audio check, he's going to do an introduction and tell you a little bit about what he's got going on.
What is up, everybody? Diamond King 5923 with Jacob Reed coming at you. We are going to be going over what team Jake should decide or not to decide on for his franchise. Meanwhile, like Jake said, go check us out at Twitch and YouTube. Most recent post was we did a start our Pirates March to October to do our team affinity for Diamond Dynasty. We are currently sitting at 2-1, winning the Cubs series. So definitely go check that out. We're going to try to get a video up later today or tomorrow.
All right, man. We are good to go. I have your audio. I have my audio, so we got that issue fixed.
Sorry about that, guys, if you were tuning in. Jake and I are trying really hard to understand everything new about the PS5, and that took us, 5-10 minutes to figure that out?
Yeah, there were like 5 different settings that we had to switch to allow other people's audio to be heard. Like, it wasn't that complicated on PS4. I'm not sure why they added extra settings to make it more complicated on PS5. But we got 2 people tuned in, so if you guys are tuned in, as I said, leave your feedback in the comment section as we go through here. We have a couple of short lists. We're going to be picking a team for franchise mode this year. Feel free to interact live with us, because that's what I'm looking for today. So Timo, let's go ahead and go through the list that I provided you. We can, you know more about it. I'm not going to lie, he's the one that introduced me to baseball. He knows way more about these teams. He pays way more attention than I do. So I'm going to have him run down the list of teams that you guys commented on my videos and said you'd like to potentially see those teams as a franchise or a rebuild.
Thanks, Jake. So the first section of our podcast is going to be teams that you guys want to see. So these are the teams that when Jake put up the video earlier in the month asking you guys what team he should be in MLB, or even I think he put up a post in the community, and these were the teams that you guys have decided. So a lot of these teams are rebuild, which is really cool for Jake, because this is one of the things that Jake prospers in. So we have the Twins, the Tigers, the Angels, the White Sox, the Orioles, and the Marlins. So right off the bat, we're going to go to the Twins roster. So if Jake, you want to join me there?
Yes, sir. I'll follow through team by team as we go.
So we are going to start out first and foremost with this solid rotation. So obviously that you guys know the LA Dodgers did trade Kenta Maeda this offseason to the Twins in a big deal. So Kenta Maeda goes over to the Twins and joins a stud in Jose Barrios. And they added veteran J Happ. J Happ is a big. Go ahead.
Oh, just one note that I didn't say already was the reason that we're doing it this way is because of the fact that the Scout Scoops roster is not out yet, and so we're waiting for the full minors to be out. So when we go through here, you're not going to see every single prospect, and these ratings won't be 100% the same when we actually do the franchise mode, but we can get a good idea of which teams are rebuilds, which teams to go with. So, go ahead, Timo. Sorry.
You're good. So, like Jake was saying, one thing about the Twins is they do have a strong rotation now. Not only do they have a strong rotation now, but they have a good couple prospects here. Top 100 project, Jordan Belazovich. He is a young guy, 21 years old. I believe he was either drafted last year or the year before. And the Twins really need that 4 to 5 guy pitching. So, right here, 69 overall. Could be a call-up mid-July, or if you need a arm due to injury, this would be the guy you want to first call up. And then you also have Brandon Waddell. So Brandon Waddell,
former Pirate.
Yeah, former Pirate. Brandon Waddell signed this off season with the Minnesota Twins. So a lot of potential here. Other than that, you have the next guy in Lewis Thorpe all the way down 62. I'm not 100% sure if he's a real guy, so we're just gonna leave him there. But yeah,
He's real.
Waddell, he is real.
Yeah, if you click
So
triangle on the player profile, it'll bring up a picture of him.
okay, cool. So Lewis Thorpe is B potential, another one of those guys, not one of those guys that you think is going to prosper into something, but he could definitely be like put in that long relief. So you do have a lot of options pitching here with the Twins.
This really seems as well like an old roster, so like a good candidate for a rebuild. You know, some players you could deal away to teams that are competitive.
It's even to that point where it's a push. It'd be like your March October sleepers. Like the Twins are always a good team, but for some reason like Barrios got injured last year. I mean, we had a shortened season, not like it mattered, but Barrios got injured early on in the season, so the Twins really hurt pitching wise. So they have the bullpen now. If you go over to the bullpen,
I like this as an option. I definitely think I want to keep this one up there in the conversation now that I look at this, you know, at least the top end of this roster. Because
you also have a plenty of jerseys to wear, so you're not bored. You have the reds, you have the navy, you have the white, you have the white on gold. Twins. I was a Twin last year. My road to the show was never disappointed with the uniform combo that they threw on us.
I'm
unique combos.
Definitely
Twins are definitely
intrigued.
one of those teams that I'm intrigued that they selected. Again, you may have to go out and get a closer. Alex Colom, not the best with control, but if you get his wind up down and you get his sweeping slider, you'll be doing pretty well there.
Well, they even have they have a few prospects here. I don't know if any of these are necessarily real. Looks like Alcala is. They could potentially fill in that role eventually. I think, you know, this is a team that was mentioned a few times in comments. So, you know, if you're watching live right now and this is a team that you guys want to see, definitely leave that in the comment section, because this is a team that I've seen already a few times on my other videos, people commenting about. And not to spend too much time on this team, maybe we can move on to the next one here shortly.
Yeah. So catcher is just your basic catcher. Mitch Garver's solid. Go over to first base. This is your star. He's not the best, but Miguel Yazor has major power. Back-to-back home run champion a couple years ago.
Didn't he come over from another team?
No, Sano's been a Twin.
He's been here? Okay.
Yeah, Luis Arias. He is a solid young second baseman. Those are one of those guys you want to develop. Go over to third baseman. Donaldson returns to Minnesota after 1 year away from being with Atlanta. So Donaldson comes back to play third base, and then they pick up veteran presence in Andrelton Simmons. And of course, they still have that young Jorge Polanco still getting into his own groove. And then if you look there's your best prospect, Royce Lewis, 20-year-old shortstop. So a lot of potential here. And if you go even farther down, you have another good prospect in Keone Cavaso. And so we'll move on to the outfield. Outfield is where you're going to struggle the most with this team. Not a lot of speed. Kyle Garlick, obviously not the guy I would play. I'd be going with Brent Rooker. Solid young guy, 26, has that upside, decent speed.
Byron Buxton looks pretty solid.
Buxton
He's still only 27. I thought he was older.
Buxton is your guy. And then you have Jake Cave off the bench, which is a good platoon between all the outfield positions. Right field, there's your DH, your veteran, your trade chip if you did want to rebuild. And that is Nelson Cruz, where you'd want to trade him to an AL contender for prospects late on in the season. So that is our overview of the Twins. Definitely a contender. Definitely one of the teams that I'm really excited that you guys decided to tell Jake about, because if not, Jake wouldn't be looking at the Twins.
Right, I would have had no idea. I'm not gonna lie. So
let's bounce over to this next one. This one's an up and down. So we're gonna go over to the Tigers.
This is a team that's just at this moment devoid of talent, like high level talent anyway.
So this would be your second hardest rebuild in MLB period. With
who's the first? Pirates
being your first.
Gotcha.
Pirates being your first rebuild. With no talent out there at all. So we'll get into that later though. So right here, the pitchers you want to keep is Joey Wentz, Corey Mize, and you want to keep progressing Matt Manning, because he has that potential to be boom or bust. So a lot of pitchers here, even like Tarek Skubal, He pitched a couple innings last year for them. And then Jeff Brunner, who's a made-up guy. Nice.
A lot of high potentials out here, though, so that's nice.
A lot of good pitchers. And then you go to the pen. Again, your pen isn't your bread and butter with this team.
There's
have
nothing.
a lot of work to do. So let's go ahead and move on. Bright side, you do have another nice trade chip, veteran catcher Wilson Ramos. So Ramos is big. Miggy, you're not trading. He's just gonna retire after year 1.
Yeah.
Tigers.
Second base. Johnny's now joining us.
Yeah, Johnny's in on the stream. I don't know if you have your voice set to be shared or not.
Probably not.
Probably
it
not.
Took us 15
My
minutes.
voice is always set to stream.
Yeah, hold on. We'll do
say you're
hold on. We'll do a stream test.
I'll do audio check.
Good,
oh yeah,
Johnny.
okay. All right, Johnny. All right, we're joined by Johnny here. Probably even as experienced with baseball as T-Mall is. So if you want to give any opinions on this as we're going through here, basically we're doing a team selection stream for which team I'm going to do franchise mode with this year on the channel. We've already done the Twins, and we're on Detroit right now.
Johnny, I'm sending you the link. This is podcast style. I'm basically the lead reporter. So whichever team I'm on, you go to that team. Jake's video, I'm just kind of hijacking it for him.
Hey, it's all good.
So,
you guys are the ones that are knowledgeable. I make no bones about the fact that basically you guys are the ones that got me into baseball. You know way more about baseball, so.
Yeah. So also, guys, it's gonna be a longer video because we got a lot of teams here. So
just
to give you guys a heads up, try to pay attention. It's gonna be worth it at the end. Again, this is broadcast. First time we're actually doing this. We may do one more of these. I know Jake and I were talking about doing a draft analysis video. Don't know if we're going to go through with it, so just bear with us. This is our first one.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to second base with the Tigers now that we got Johnny the list of teams. So Jonathan Shoup, he was a longtime Oriole, good power, decent contact.
Okay, I'm going to pause you for 1 second. I got somebody asking what about the A's. They are on our list. We'll be hitting them in a bit.
We'll get to the A's.
That's my favorite team that's not a Pittsburgh team.
Yeah, so we'll get there. They're in the second batch of teams here, which is under Jake's shortlist. But we're gonna eliminate teams through the first category, and then we're gonna try to get down to 3 teams out of the 3 categories.
I like it.
And that's what Jake's gonna decide off of. So, like I said, guys, bear with us. We are again new to this podcast. Won't be our first. Well, this is our first, but it won't be our last. So. Back to the second base, Jonathan Shoup, again, a big guy from Baltimore, came over last year to Milwaukee, tried to help push the Brewers. Brewers collapsed. Shoup is one of those guys that you have a nice trade chip, so hopefully we can keep it up. Here is your star of the team at 27 years old, which is Jeimer Candelario. Candelario is one of the better upsides to the Detroit Tigers at third base.
Really good against lefties. I like that.
Goodrum's just a solid glove, has nice speed, gets you a couple stolen bases. Go over to left field, nothing really here. Aging Robbie Grossman, good platoon if you want to deal him.
Bryant Packard's got to be a made-up prospect.
Yeah. Victor Reyes is your young guy that you want to keep progressing, 26 years old, 75. Another one of those guys that you know is going to have a good upside if you play well with him. And then Waddell is the one-hit wonder this year. Hit a grand slam on opening day, then followed back with his next 2 at-bats being home runs and a triple. So Waddell has a lot of upside potential. 22-year-old could potentially battle Reyes, or he is a great platoon.
I like this as an option, as a true challenge. You know, that's a team that if I really want to get a challenge in, I think this is a team to go with. So.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Top contender right here.
Yeah, and then you also have Jacoby Jones, which is
what's his name isn't still here. Is he that shortstop that played for the Pirates? What was his name?
Nah, Mercer's gone.
Mercer.
He actually plays for the Nationals now.
Okay.
He's with Jay Hay in Washington.
So Andrew McDaniels asks, can you please check if you can still manage 9 innings on simulation in franchise instead of actually playing? I like managing as well. I really need to know before buying.
So you can't. She's stuck, guys.
I believe you still can. I don't think they really changed any of that. And that's going to be a part of the franchise. We're not going to play every single game. I don't really do that. I simulate some. I coach some of the games. I try to get a mix in.
Yeah. So yeah, you can definitely still do that. You can also do player lock still, which is really cool. So if you don't want to play the whole game, you can always player lock with somebody. So last thing about this team is no more Mazzaro. Again, didn't quite understand why he was moved, but Tigers jumped at it. And another good upside prospect. I'm not saying he's, a big MLB player. He only probably has 2 years of MLB time. So again, Mazzaro is one of those options. So That's what we're working with the Tigers. We can go ahead and hop over to everybody's favorite, the DH and pitcher in Shohei Ohtani, as I passed them up 3 times.
To the right, here we are. This is a team that I feel like a lot of people name this team. There's going to be a lot of streams out there of the Angels. This is one that I think we can eliminate pretty early on from this because it's not really going to be a challenge, But, we can still go over it a little bit.
So basically, and this is going to be real brief, literally you have Trout, you have Rendon, you have Ohtani, you have a decent pitching with the addition of Jose Quintana. But other than that, you really don't have much. You have Joe Adele as your prospect, which I don't know why he's so low. He won't be that low, probably about prospect. 82.
So this is almost like a team that's like, they're a competitor, they just need a couple of pieces, or they need to develop some pieces around those big stars, is kind of what it seems like to me.
Well, yeah, one thing that they did this year was they went out and got Raisel Iglesias from the Cincinnati Reds, which was a solid closing pitcher, shut down the NL Central, almost pushed the Reds into the playoffs last year. And then they also picked up veteran pitchers Steve Cishek and Tony Watson, ex-Pirate. So a lot of good depth here. 2 good lefty pitchers in Cishek and Watson. So again, not a good option in my book because of the high demand that people are just going to want to play with Ohtani. And I told Jake from the beginning when he was thinking about this that, yeah, the Angels are a good team to do, but if you do it right. Like, for one, your main goal here is to get this man, 41-year-old, 69 overall, Albert Pujols, his 3rd ring.
Where is he even at first base?
Yeah, first base.
I was like, I couldn't find him.
If you're not trying to get Pujols your 3rd ring, then there's no need for you to be on the Angels.
If you go with the Angels, I mean, you need to get Phil Gosselin into the major leagues. That's what you got to do.
What position's he?
You'll notice if you take a look at him. I'm joking very quickly.
Gotcha.
He's a 32-year-old second baseman, and he used to play for the Pirates for like a month, and he was very bad.
I was about to say, there's an inside story here where Johnny is really trolling the stream by saying Phil Gosselin.
I'm just looking at this guy's picture. He looks bad.
It's just amazing that he's on the roster even right here. Like, why?
Now,
why?
touching on prospects, Franklin Barretto. He is another one of those guys that could potentially be your prospect trade chip to get those big players, because you aren't trying to get prospects with this team. You are trying to give prospects away.
Yeah, try to build in around
a powerhouse. You're not trying. You're trying. You have Trout. You have Rendon. You're trying to go out and get that ace. Something that the Angels couldn't do 2 years ago when Garrett Cole signed with the Yankees. So we're gonna go ahead and get past the Angels because Jake's not being the Angels. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. we can roll that one out. I do appreciate that it. There's an interesting option there for somebody that wants to do that. But
yeah, if you want to be, I'm not saying anything against the Angels. I like Trout. Don't get me wrong, but you don't want to be that guy following up to like the big name streamers and because I know 2 Scout Scoops guys are trying to rival a Angels franchise, so you don't want to be dealing with that. So you don't want to be you don't want to be the odd man out. So this one's interesting, and I really like this one. But again, it's going to be overdone this year because
this one's
how
too
much
easy.
potential this team has.
I'm just looking at this roster. Holy crap!
Yeah, this team's insane. Again, I'll say this: if you're like the White Sox, go do a White Sox franchise, win the World Series. I mean, it's coming. This team is too good not to. I'm not even going to touch on this. You know what it is. You got four. You got Giolito, who threw a no-hitter last year. Lance Lynn, who comes over from Texas after having a great year. Dallas Keuchel revived in Chicago. Carlos Rendon struggles, but is a good pitcher. And then you also have He's
Oh,
not here.
yeah.
He's not
What's
here.
his name? Did he get traded away?
No, he didn't get. Well, no, he didn't get traded.
Is he
Who are
relief?
you
He's
looking
just not
for?
here.
The
Kopech. He's a
Kopech.
relief
Yeah, they have him
pitcher.
as relief.
So
What?
Kopech is also a nice starter. Just ignore it. Just
Wow.
ignore it for the stream
What?
purpose. Just
What?
ignore it.
What?
Just ignore it.
Okay.
Okay,
We're just gonna skip past that.
Okay, so we're gonna give you a little backstory. Jake's number one pitcher in his Pirates franchise, if you guys tuned in last year, was Michael Kopech, because Jake likes to trade for people when they're super young. Anyway, we're gonna move on.
But come on, 62B. That guy's gonna be an ace someday.
Again, you got all the talent in the world on this team: Jan Moncada, Jake Lamb, Tim Anderson, Donnie Medic. This team is just boomer bust caliber. So if you want to be the White Sox, go for it. Again, not a team Jake's gonna be.
I agree there. That's an easy elimination.
Okay. Again, we're gonna make this go a little bit quicker. Orioles have a lot of talent, a lot of prospects, just like the Tigers, in the same ballpark that they need a lot of help. Trey Mancini is one of your bigger players. He's down low because he didn't play last year because he is coming off of just having chemo.
This might be the hardest rebuild. Let's be honest.
I mean,
I'm looking at their
they
pitching staff.
They got so many prospects though, and that's
Yeah,
not
that's
even
true.
with the scout scoops. This
They
is
have
with the straight
two.
roster. They have at least 15 Bs that I'm seeing.
Both of these 8 potential catchers, I know that they're both pretty solid too.
So, the Orioles are in the same boat as the Tigers. Hard rebuild, probably top 3: Tigers, Orioles, and Pirates. So we'll move on from there. This one's really interesting. This is another one of the ones that I had pitched to Jake last night, and this is how it ended up on the list. So, some background information on this team. Starling Marte is Jake's favorite player all time, hands down. Best favorite Pirate all time. Jake had everything Marte. So we'll move on from there.
I had an epiphany that I realized he was on the Marlins, and I was like, well, they're kind of a rebuilding team. That might be a good option. So
as Jake says, a rebuilding team, I'm going to disagree, and I'm sure Johnny will back me up. This team did make the playoffs last year. Again, they can be rebuilding at some point. They can be rebuilding at some point, but at the same time, this is another one of those teams where you have the choice of making the moves to be good, or you have the choice of rebuilding and selling the team. My logic here with the Marlins, they made the playoffs last year. You're not trying to rebuild this team. You are trying to win a championship.
well, yeah, not trying to trade anybody away. Really, you're just trying to build up what you have already, I guess.
So you have right off the bat, without even going any further, Pablo Lopez, great pitcher last year. Sandy Alcantara, really good pitcher, great stuff, great breaking ball. Sixto Sanchez, best prospect. What is he, Johnny? Top 5? He's a top 5 prospect.
He's a top 5 right-handed pitching
top
prospect.
5
He's like number 3
right-handed pitching prospect. Nasty stuff, great velocity, great speed. One of those guys that if you want to use his, Johnny, what's the name of it? I keep calling it MLB time, but that's not what it's called.
Service
time. If you want to use his service time, he's 22 years old. You develop him and let him stay down there until he's 24. You're looking at a great pitcher at like an 83 overall coming up already to be that second guy in the command.
Yeah, but who are you going to play there in his place?
Well, if you keep looking, you got a lot of people here. You got Eliezer Hernandez, solid pitcher, good stuff. Again, ratings aren't the greatest. And then Trevor Roger.
This is my boy, Eliezer Hernandez. What a beast. I used him last year.
And then another good prospect in Edward Cabrera that they just drafted this offseason. So nice. A lot of good upside here. And again, you got Nick Neidhart. So a lot of good pitchers here. I mean, it's a young rotation, and then you get into the bullpen. Bullpen is
that guy can't be wrong.
Being anchored by Dylan Floro. Floro's a solid relief pitcher, 30 years old. And then, again, you would need to go out and make that move for that closer and that back end setup guy.
You'd probably you'd have to work to improve your bullpen for sure.
So moving on to catcher.
I still like this as an option though.
Jorge Alfaro, a great catcher, great potential, great at blocking the ball. One of those catchers that you know is going to help you down the line and be able to basically call the game if you're in a struggle late in the game. So a lot of people don't rely on the catcher. One of my pro tips, and I'm still in Jake's thunder here, one of my pro tips is when the catcher tells you where to place the ball, you want to listen to the catcher a good majority of the time, unless you're throwing your breaking stuff. If you're throwing breaking stuff, feel free to put it where you feel that the pitch needs to go. But if you're throwing fastball, cutter, changeup, you want to listen to where your catcher is.
One of my
I'm only talking because
one of my more popular videos from last year.
yeah. So I'm only tooting my own horn because Jake, Johnny can back me up. I'm a really good pitcher when it comes to this game. That's
All right, let's keep it moving.
Another good player. Garrett Cooper, good platoon. Joe Birdie. I don't know. I don't know about John Birdie. Johnny might be able to help you out. I don't know if he knows anything about him.
I forgot about Isan Diaz.
I can help you out with. So you want to steal bases? There's a good guy. Up.
How many shortstops do you need? Jeez.
So yeah, shortstops is a little out of hand.
Yeah, this is where you get the meat of it right here. Jazz Chisholm. Oh.
Yeah.
Jose Devers is great. Chisholm's great.
Where is
and you got a second
Jazz
short.
is your.
Where's D Gordon at these days?
I have no clue. I think he's retired finally. Moving forward to try to speed this up. Left field, you have aging Corey Dickerson at 31, but you got Tristan Pompey waiting for it. So as soon as Dickerson's about ready to leave, Tristan, I don't know, he might be. Okay, center field.
I know they have like 10 center field prospects here that are real.
Victor Mesa's really good. Meisner, I don't think is real. Connor Scott, I don't think is real. But Victor Mesa is real.
Brinson and Monty Harrison. Monte.
A big pickup this offseason was Adam Duvall, came over from Atlanta, so they still a NL.
There's my boy JJ Bleday.
There he is.
That guy a 99 last year.
This is the NL East. Yeah, the NL East. So Adam Duvall comes over from Atlanta in a move. NL East to NL East team, and then obviously you got JJ Bleday, who Jake also stole from the Marlins last year. So, if you guys are keeping tabs on the video, Twins and Marlins are the two teams on teams you guys want to see. Now we're going to go ahead and transition to the homer teams that Jake wants to see.
Yeah, this is my short list of teams. This is where I've already seen a couple people comment the A's. This is where the A's get factored in, the Pirates, you know.
So let's start here. Okay. Johnny and I will be able to talk about this for days. We'll try to make this quick. Pitching, you have great stuff here. Tyler Anderson was a good acquisition for the Pirates. He's only a 72 in the game. And then you go to Chad Cole. He's also 72 but has great stuff. You're going to want to decide what you want to do. I personally make him your long reliever in the pen. And then you got a young guy in JT Brubaker, which I'm sure won't be a C potential when the Scout Scoops guys come in. He'll probably be B or A. And then Mitch Keller, who most likely is going to go back down to B potential because of his command issues. But right now it's sitting at 69A. Other than that, Quinn Priester in the lurks. He'll be coming up. Will Crow, not a great prospect, but then you come down here, you got Braxton Ashcraft and Brennan Malone. So that's your pitching. A lot of good upside for the Pirates. Even if you load up to March to October, they will talk about how the Pirates have one of the better potentials to have a boom or bust rotation. Bullpen, you have good stuff here. You don't have the ratings to support you, though. So Kyle Crick, obviously, you're going to want to keep him. He has good stuff. Felice has good velocity. Shreve's not going to be on the team. Austin Davis has good upside as your big bullpen guy. You come down, you're going to want to move on from Chris Stratton. You're going to want to keep Clay Holmes despite popular demand of everybody cutting him. And Sam Howard, he would be solid if he had a better rating.
Go talk about Miguel. How'd you guys say his name's friend? Jorge?
In Bednar. You got some potential in Bednar, and then you got some potential in, obviously you have Contreras, who could also be a starter. And then you have Oviedo, who's definitely one of your probably should be your focal point in all of your relief pitchers as far as the prospects go.
So yes, Jake wants us to talk about this guy. So this guy went yesterday, and me and Johnny will spend a couple minutes on him. So Miguel Yazor.
Yahore.
I don't know.
Yahore.
Shoot, yeah, Yahore. Miguel Yahore. I don't know if. I guess he's out of Mexico, originally with the Yankees. He had a really good outing yesterday. Has really good stuff. I don't see him staying his D potential in the Scout Scoops roster. I would see him maybe moving up to B tier after that outing. Again, he got rocked for 2 runs, not his fault, and then an error in the outfield that was charged to him. Really good stuff. Good breaking ball, nice slider, and just great velocity. A lot of upside. This guy will not be a relief pitcher in the final roster, almost guaranteed.
This is an interesting.
Would you like to add anything?
No, I mean, I think about summarize it. Definitely the breaking ball could be a nasty pitch for sure for him.
This is an interesting year to be the Pirates, dude. They got some. They have an interesting roster.
Once the full roster comes out too, they have like so many different fun guys that should all be around the same time, like the same range to come up that you can play with. And if you have spots that there's no room for certain guys, then you can move the extras to fill in another spot that might be weaker. It's just there's just a lot of potential there.
So I'm going to pull my horns in a little bit here because I personally do not like Rich Rod at closer, but I'll say this much, he is proving us wrong this year. He's 4 for 5 on saves early?
Yeah, he's been doing well.
Really good breaking stuff. Looks like he has his command back. This looks like the guy the Pirates got from the Diamondbacks a couple years ago. So Rich Rodriguez, definitely a good arm to have. Not necessarily the closer, but if you're going to trade people away, you have Rodriguez, Crick, Feliz in the pen, and you might be able to move Chad Cole pitching. You want to keep JT Brubaker no matter what. Okay, this is a surprising one at catcher. One of the better catchers in the game, too.
Defensively, anyway.
Defensively. So, Stallings is one of the better defensive catchers in the league, but he's starting to put that bat together, so I'm looking to see an improvement in the Scout Scoops rating, maybe up to an 84 with how well he's been playing, but definitely one of those catchers that you don't want to rely on in a tough situation. Could be a good trade chip, but you might want to hold on to him for defensive purposes. Other than that, you're kind of screwed at catcher.
You're right.
Got to go out and get a prospect. Michael Perez has a little bit of hope, but he's not good at anything. Okay, Colin Moran. This guy will not be a 70 in the Scout Scoops roster. He's raking way too much. This guy will probably come in at that 76, 77 range that he did last year with a potential. Colin Moran is your biggest trade chip this year for the Pirates. Colin Moran is your trade chip. I cannot express that enough.
All right. Keep it rolling. Okay. We could spend all day talking about the Pirates, and more than likely we're not even going to pick the Pirates in this video. So.
Okay. So then you have Adam Frazier, good bat there. Kevin Newman, who is playing shortstop.
Yeah, trade chip.
Not quite sure how Defoe's better than Newman, but whatever. That won't be the same.
This can I just take a second to say this base roster that they came out with for this game this year is trash. It just is.
It is. That's why.
Yeah, let me go back too. They also added some of the draft picks from last year into the game, like as far as the prospects. But they didn't add Nick Gonzalez, even though he was a top 10 pick and he's the number 1 second base prospect.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a no-brainer. This is your Josh Bell from last year. You hold on to Cabran and build around him.
Yep.
You also have Todd Frazier that could be a nice trade chip if you start batting well with him. Eric Gonzalez, another decent chip. Probably will get an upgrade. He's playing really well this year. Was injured last year. Hoping to see a big upside on Eric Gonzalez. Left field is Brian Reynolds. Don't know why he's not there, but he's your left fielder. Again, another upside. Probably won't be a 72 when the roster comes out. Center field, you're kind of screwed until year 2 or 3. So you'll have Lolo Sanchez, Sammy Ciani in 3 years, but Travis Swaggerty will be your first guy you call up no matter what. Moving on to right field, same deal, kind of screwed until Blake Sable's ready to go. That'll be a 2-year process.
It's not even.
You need to move on from Polanco.
Yeah.
So that's your Pirates again.
You're moving O'Neal Cruz to right field pretty much if you're being the Pirates too, probably.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and switch over to the A's that everybody's been waiting for. Again, this is an AL West. This is Jake's second favorite baseball team, followed by the Giants as his third favorite. So let's go ahead and get into the A's.
They're gonna be a little too easy to do, in my opinion.
The A's are a little too easy, but if you want to try to win the World Series, you do have a struggle with the pitchers. You have Manea, who's solid, Bassett, who's older, Matos, who's not great, Jesus Luzardo is your best prospect, and then from there you don't have much. So starting pitcher, you would want to go out and get a starting pitcher. The addition of Sergio Romo is a huge pickup, and Yusmeiro Petit.
I can't pitch with Manea either. So if we did a franchise with the A's, Manea would probably be dealt, because I literally can't pitch with him.
And then you also have Trevor Rosenthal and Jake Diekman. Rosenthal, one of the better closers in the early 2010s, and Diekman, one of the better closers today. So then catcher, you got a great catcher in Sean Murphy, and a good, solid backup in Aramis Garcia. Go to first base, you have the future star in the MLB in Matt Olson, a good platoon with Mitch Moreland, and a good prospect in Seth Brown. Nothing you can complain here. Second base, you could probably get a little testy, but then you got Marco Barretto right there in the fold, 61, be up in 4 years, he'll be ready to go. And Jed Lowry, who's 36, so you have to go out and get a second base prospect. Well, not a second base prospect, but a second base filler.
And then my favorite player on the A's, Matt Chapman.
And then Matt Chapman, who's just your star.
He's a beast.
Andrews comes over from Texas, which is a big acquisition for them. And again, 3 shortstop prospects. Yeah. Can't tell you which one's real and which one's not. Passan's real.
Pawson's real. Davidson's real. Ironman, I don't think is.
Chad Pinder is your starting left fielder. Don't know why he's in AAA, probably because of injury, but Pinder's solid, not horrible. Ramon Laureano. Laureano, yeah.
Love him.
Is another star in the making, and then you got Mark Cana backing him up.
I love Laureano's arm. 99 arm.
Phil, I just backed out by accident. So,
Stephen Piscotty.
We just have Stephen Piscotty, who
not much else.
Yeah, not much else.
So this is a team that's essentially going for a title or trying to compete. It just needs a few positions filled in. That's about it.
Okay. So the next one, because we've touched on 3 teams, is the Diamondbacks. Which this is another one of those teams that Jake has done in the past, so we're probably not going to touch on this. This is an aging team that has boom or bust talent, a lot of trade chips, and Madison Bumgarner, Tyler Clippard, Joakim Soria, a good catcher in Carson Kelly, and Stephen Vogt. Christian Walker, not that great, but Pavin Smith's right there in the works. If you want somebody to steal bases, you want to go get Tim LaCostro. And then backing him up is Drupal. Eduardo Escobar is solid. Again, this isn't a team Jake's going to want to be, so I'm going quick. Gerardo Perdomo is already playing, 20 years old, a good upside there. And Nick Ahmed is the starting shortstop, so you could always put Perdomo on the bench, or you could send him back down to AAA to develop. David Peralta is a good trade chip. Quintel Marte's a good trade chip.
Okay, here we go.
And Cole Calhoun's not that great.
This is a team that has some. It's interesting because you could do a rebuild with it. But should you do a rebuild with it? Like, you know.
I feel like at this point, because they've been supposed to be I'm trying to word this right. They've been predicted to be good. At this point, it's time to start selling. Like, they went out and got Mad Bum last year. They didn't do much. They went out the year before and got Paddock. Didn't do too much. So
let's move on to this is my sleeper candidate. This is the one that I've talked about for a while because this one's going to be hard.
So Jake really likes this team. Again, third favorite team. So Kevin Gausman is your best pitcher. that's about it. You got Alex Wood, who was a great
That's rough.
LA Dodger, but fell
It's
off.
rough.
You got
It
an
is.
aging Cueto.
Cueto, one
All
of
I
my
heard is
all-time
Kevin
favorites.
Gausman is the best pitcher.
Then you got Anthony DeSclafani. You got a couple pitchers here, and Aaron Sanchez, which is solid.
They have a
Other
couple of
than
good
that,
prospects.
that's it. I don't know where Pudge's son went, but he is no longer here. So we'll move on. Bullpen. This is one of the better bullpens in baseball, surprisingly. Tyler Rogers, great setup man. John Brebbia, the next guy. And then Moranta has really good stuff and good break. And Jose Alvarez, again, decent stuff. Not the best, but he'll get the job done. And Leon's solid. So, not a lot of upside here. One good prospect in Zach Littell at 65 overall. And
Johnny,
then
how do you
get-
pronounce that closing pitching prospect's name? Tyler Sear?
He's fake.
That's what I would assume.
No,
He looks
he's real. He's
I
real.
don't know who he is though, but
Yeah, I don't know that. Well, yeah, they got closing prospect, and you got Jake McGee, one of the best closers in baseball. Won't be a 76. Buster Posey on his last leg.
Somebody said they
Solid.
believe D. Gordon's in Cincy right now.
We'll go look. I'll go look real quick.
yeah, I don't think we played Cincy and I haven't seen him, but who knows? Might just have been on the
D.
bench or
Gordon
something.
is not in Cincy.
I wonder where he is. He plays second, right?
I
Yeah.
just looked. He's not there.
He's got to be out there somewhere. We'll have to find him at some point here.
So here comes your prospects. So you can trade away Brandon Belt as a good trade chip if you wanted to rebuild this team. Wilmer Flores, another good trade chip, and then you got Cesar Mara.
What
who
position
is
you at?
your prospect, second base.
Second base.
21-year-old, 74 overall.
I don't
good
think that
speed,
guy's real.
decent contact. Gory, another good trade chip, and then you have your good prospect Luis Toribio, who is 1962 A potential. So
I'm
a
not
lot of
gonna lie,
potential
I'm
here at
liking
38.
this team more and more. This might be my favorite one I've seen so far.
Yeah, I think this is a good, decent one.
And
I
then
like their
Brandon
uniforms
Crawford,
too.
Brandon Crawford, another good trade chip. So you could be going young. So we'll move on. Hunter Bishop's your best center field prospect, coming in with Alexander. And then your star is Mike Yastrzemski, followed by Austin Slater, and then two good right field prospects.
Your key with this team would probably be Marco Luciano for sure at shortstop. As your prospect.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really leaning
That's the top guy.
I'm leaning Giants right now. Those of you that are watching, let me know what you guys would think about Giants. Drop your comments in the chat. I'm leaning them. I you know, like I said, third favorite team. But we'll see.
So next we're going into other options, which are Rockies, Royals, and Mariners. Rockies are an interesting team. That's all I'm going to say. Good pitching. Jermaine Marquez is your best pitcher, followed by John Gray. Really good, actually. I'm just going to come out and say it. I really like the Rockies rotation in Jermaine Marquez, John Gray, Austin Gambler, Kyle Freeland, and Antonio Santazatella. And then there's Derek Rodriguez. Goes over to the Rockies in a trade. Okay, glad I found him. So that's another good pitcher. So Rockies have a great rotation. Then the bullpen. I mean, it is what it is. Michael Gibbons, a good relief pitcher. And then Scott Oberg, not a real closer here. So you would want to go get a closer. This might be a rebuild. Yeah, it's more than it's gonna be a rebuild. Good prospect here in Ryan McCann, 26-year-old 70B, probably the best prospect since Todd Helton for the Rockies. And then they got Josh Fuentes, which is solid. And then they also got Matt Adams, a good veteran presence, with Greg Bird as well. A lot of veterans here. Second base, Garrett Hampton, another good, solid prospect. Not in his own yet. He's played maybe a year or two, so a lot of upside there. Third base, you lost Arenado, so you're looking at Colton Welker, or you're playing one of those first basemen at third. Shortstop, Trevor Story is 91. That's your best trade chip. I would be trying to trade him to a team as a contender. Because you have Brendan Rodgers, who's the next guy up, 24-year-old, 67 A potential. followed by another good prospect, Ryan Velarde, 20
And
years old, 66 overall.
an option there is because they're both shortstops. One of them
You
could play
also
third.
put Rogers at third.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Actually,
I like
you
this
could.
team.
So you could trade Story if you decided to go that way. If you did a Rockies thing, and then one of Brennan Rogers or Velarde could play shortstop and third.
Yep. So I really like this option as a team for Jake. I mentioned this one a while back as well. It's a rebuild, but it's not
That guy's not
a
real.
drastic rebuild as the Orioles or the Pirates or the Tigers. This is definitely a rebuild, though.
Tapia, I like him.
So Quintana.
He's got some swag.
Quintana is not good, but
D. Gordon's
Ryan
on the Brewers,
Cecino-
by the way.
Brewers.
Brewer. There we go. Confirmation. D. Gordon's a Brewer. Center fielder.
But not on the
Tapia-
actual roster. He's like kind of like a Todd
AAA?
Frazier.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. So Tapia and Ian Desmond, you would want to move on from both of them and try to find yourself a center fielder until Jameson Hanna is able to call up.
Is Blackman a trade chip, or is he like he retires there type of player?
So this is where it gets good. So I've been on the fence here trying to decide this since I looked at this team. Blackman is one of those candidates that you need to move on from. I get it. He has been Rocky pride his whole career. He's been the heart and soul of Colorado. He's been the heart and soul of every Rocky playoff run. It's time to move on. He's in the same boat that the Pirates were with McCutchen. The Rockies held on to him too long. He should have been moved 2 deadlines ago when Milwaukee tried to acquire him. Blackman is one of those guys that has to be moved to complete this rebuild because you will get a lot of prospects in return for a good DH to the American League.
Yeah. I like it. All right. We got
So
two
that's the
teams
Rockies,
left.
2 teams left, and we're down to Giants and Twins.
The teams
So
that
far?
I have 4 teams that I think I'm down to. Rockies, Giants, Twins, and Tigers.
Ooh, Tigers. So let's go ahead and throw another wrench into that, and we are going to the Royals. Now this is a really interesting one. I personally think this would be really cool to try to rival the AL West with the Athletics, the Angels. Nobody's going to want to be the Royals. I know Scout Scoops did a post about choose your team, and Kansas City was one of them. I really don't think a lot of people are going to be the Royals because it isn't a big market. You have a lot of nice unis. The Kansas City Royals are one of those teams that is going to be another Chicago White Sox this year. They're going to shock a lot of people, win a lot of games. But Whit Merrifield, Salvi Perez on his couple more years left in him, Carlos Santana coming over, and Mike Minor coming into his own as the starting pitcher with the acquisition of Andrew Benintendi from the Red Sox, and then Brad Keller, your best pitching prospect, along with Brady Singer, and then Hunter Dozier's a solid third baseman, Greg Holland. You need to improve the closer, but a lot of good arms here. Danny Duffy.
So what I'm
Michael
hearing is
Taylor
this
in
game
center
is
field.
basically out because they have a pretty solid lineup and rotation.
I mean, unless you want to rival the AL West. I really like it. Doing this, I'm starting to question who I'm going to be, which is weird because I always have it down to the Pirates or Padres, which are my 2 franchises this year. But, I may throw a Royals in there because the Royals look kind of good.
I'm gonna eliminate the Royals because I want something that's a bit more of a challenge or more of a rebuild, and I don't think the Royals are quite at the stage I'm looking for.
Okay. So here's a really cool one, and this is the final team on Jake's list, and this is the Seattle Mariners. So the reason the Mariners are on this list, not only is it an other option, but Jake was a big fan of Taijuan Walker when he was a Mariner. So we're looking at Seattle Mariners. Marco Gonzalez is obviously one of the better pitchers here, followed by James Paxton. If you start with the roster on, Paxton won't be playing because of injury. He's going to Tommy John. Justice Sheffield is another good pitching prospect. A lot of good upside here with the Mariners. UC Kikuchi, 69D, but he has good stuff, good breaking ball. If they put the screwball in, the forkball might be in. If the forkball's in, he's going to be fine. A decent bullpen. I'm not going to go crazy about it because it's in the same ballpark with the Pirates. There's potential, but not much going on. Big acquisition was Ken Giles this offseason, signing him from the the Toronto Blue Jays. So you have a good closer. So let's go ahead and get into everything else. Tom Murphy, solid catcher, 79. You can work with that. 29 years old, a lot of upside. And then you have a young guy, Luis Torrens, 24, 62 overall B potential. So you got the best of both worlds. You want to develop the catcher, you got your catcher. You want to have the veteran, you have your veteran. First base is kind of weak, but he has B potential, so this is another developmental prospect in Evan White.
This can't be right either. One guy on the entire organization at first base. Something's messed up there.
Yeah. Dylan Moore, a good second baseman. And then Sam Haggerty, again, best of both worlds with prospects here. And you got a 25-year-old Shed Long Jr. here with a potential.
There's a lot jacked up.
Yeah.
Well, I think Kyle, you know what, Jake? I think Seager plays first.
Yeah, you might be right
Kyle
there.
Seager, like I just said, plays first base for the Mariners. Ty France, another young guy, third base. Another young Jake Shiner. So you got third base prospects galore with this team. A lot of good trade chips.
Joe Rizzo, I remember him. Yeah.
Jared Trout, 70, best shortstop, and not a lot of potential. J.P. Crawford, solid shortstop, a potential, 26, a lot of upside. Novi Marte, another good prospect, 18 years old. You won't have him for a while, but when he comes up, man, he'll be lighting it up. And then Cesar Torres Jr., that's the son of Cesar Torres.
When he comes up, man, he'll be lighting it up. I like that.
I want to take a shot at pronouncing this left fielder's name. Jose Marmolejos?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's got to be right.
Yep. Left fielder, not good. Taylor Trammell, again, he's your hopeful. He's really fast, going to get you a lot of bases. Another Malik Smith. And Kyle Lewis, a great center fielder in the making, why Malik Smith is no longer here.
Jake
and
Fraley. Oh, they got
Haniger,
prospects.
Mitch Haniger keeps falling off. And then this is the number two prospect in baseball in Julio Rodriguez, right fielder for the Seattle Mariners. 18 years old, was 17 last year, 63. When he comes up, you'll be hitting dingers left and right. This guy's a stud.
Can we just take a look at the center fielder's name, the second center fielder? Is that real? Dom T. Williams?
Julio Rod. Yes.
T. Williams. What?
So you rebuild this team, you keep Julio Rodriguez, or if you go in the direction that you want to compete in the AL East as well, AL West, then you have to trade for a setup man, couple first basemen, and a outfielder in right field.
Okay.
Other than that, Seattle's a good option.
So before we get into my 5 remaining teams, are there any other teams that you guys can think of that we haven't discussed that would be an option that we should consider?
So I figured out why it's Dom T. Williams in the game.
Why is that?
It is actually Dom Thompson Williams, but apparently the game didn't program it so that they could fit Dom
not long enough.
Thompson Williams.
Jake, if you want another rebuild,
Daryl Hurst said Tigers. That's in my final 5 considerations. We've already covered them earlier in the video. They were one of the first ones we covered. You said Rangers. I saw Rangers as well. I just don't like the Rangers, so I kind of eliminated them from my contention on my own.
Yeah. The other one, the Mets would be interesting, but they're too good at this point.
Yeah.
Phillies would be interesting to rival the Mets and the Braves. You get to play with Bryce Harper and Kutch.
Alright, so here's what I'll say. I'm comfortable with the ones that I have here on this list. So I'm gonna... What do you think? Should I put it to a vote?
I personally think you should make the choice. If you put it to a vote, then you may not be happy with one of the teams you got.
That's true. Okay, so here's where we're at. Rockies, Giants, Twins, Tigers, and Mariners. Can either of you think of a reason I should eliminate one of those teams?
So we have Rockies, Tigers, Twins, Giants, and you do like the Mariners.
I like that as an option, yeah.
So the team that I'm seeing is the Tigers. It's too stressful. I'll be honest.
Yeah, so...
The Tigers are a rough rebuild from last year, watching people do it.
I didn't look at the Twins roster-wise, but I know that they
have like a very old roster. They're like they could compete, but they're like a candidate to ship everybody out.
Yeah.
So my thing is with the Twins, you are trying to compete, so you would be trying to add to that already.
Let's take them off then. So I'm down. Rockies and Giants and Mariners.
So do you want to play in the AL or the NL?
DH isn't league wide this year, right? So, that's tough. Sometimes I don't like dealing with the DH, so I might even just go NL.
So here's my thing. If you're down to the NL, then you have the Rockies and Giants. And me personally, you're not going to want to play in Coors. You give up a lot of home runs when you're pitching. So you'd be battling the ball carrying, and two, you'd be battling Triples Alley. But if you go to the Giants, you're still in the same problem with Triples Alley with McCovey Co.
I'm right now I'm leaning Giants. I've already got one person in the chat said Giants would be cool. Does anybody have any objections to the Giants? Because I think that's where I'm leaning right now. That seems like, they don't have a lot of talent there. They have some prospects to build around.
My only objection is you got to let Cueto walk.
I probably would. He's 35. You know me in age.
Yeah.
I think you should go Giants.
Either
Giants?
way, you're playing in the NL West. I like the Giants unis this year.
I love the Giants unis. Because, last year, my Road to the Show player, I was drafted to the Giants, played there for a couple years, then went over to the Pirates. So
here, let's just go into exhibition now to end the stream. Go ahead and show off your new team's unis.
All right. I think we're decided. We're decided on the Giants. Let me just check chat, make sure everybody's cool with that. I don't see any negatives. If I can even get into a game, because the servers are still down for me.
You can click into exhibition.
When I go up? Yeah, up. Okay. We got the traditional home. I love the orange alternate.
I really like the black.
Oh, that black's nice.
But let's just amuse everyone and go look at the Rockies too.
All right. I'll do that after this one. That could be a deciding factor.
Because they added in the alternate 05 vest, which is really nice.
There's just something about the off-white or the cream, whatever you want to call it, for the Giants that I just like so much. All right, Rockies are super interesting too. They got that purple. The purple's nice. Chuck Money 21620 asks, can you make a team in franchise mode? I don't think so, but you can do custom branding, right?
You can you can go in and make a custom roster. You could Bacon does it every year. Go in and make your roster, and then what he's been doing is he's been going through and you can create up to 30 different teams. So you would just have to brand them all or go in and download logos off the server.
Oh, really? Okay. So there is some customization options there for you.
That's how, if you look up on YouTube, like MLB 20 college baseball, you can have college teams.
Okay. There you go. There's your answer. I actually don't like the Rockies uniforms as much as
It's the cream. You love the cream. You just admit it.
Yeah.
If there's anything Jake wants and anything that I make for any game like NHL,
That's
MLB, you gotta have the cream
This
colors.
is such a weird thing, but like that's one of my favorite colors. I don't know why. Everybody thinks I'm weird when I say that, but that like off-white like kind of cream color is just perfection.
Yeah. So there it is, guys. Thank you for helping Jake decide his team. Giants are set.
If I can get into Diamond Dynasty, I'll show them my uniforms for Diamond Dynasty real quick. But yeah, let's go. We'll go Giants this year. Like I said, we're waiting for the Scout Scoops roster. T-Mall, maybe you can speak on the timeline for that.
So when I talked to a couple people, they said that it's looking like first or second week in May. It's all determining on obviously what's going on right now with the show. They're able to upload the faces, but at the same time, we're having trouble getting everything going. So it all depends on if MLB can fix the servers tonight or tomorrow with this patch.
Oh, these servers are so bad right now. I hope they fix it.
I understand the Xbox. This is your first time getting it, so kudos to you guys. This really has been the worst release in recent memory that I can remember for a sports video game, next to NBA 2K last year. The server is, you absolutely can't get in games. You get disconnected randomly, and at the beginning when the game dropped, the stub stores, one, you couldn't purchase anything, and two, the store was down, so you weren't even getting your stubs that you had bought with the pre-order. So MLB really taking an L right now. People on Twitter is letting you know. Hashtag go check it out on MLB servers or MLB The Show servers. You'll see a whole bunch of comments on Twitter if you get bored. Might be a good thing to go check. Also go follow the Ride-In rosters on Twitter. That's where we get all your information on the Scout Scoops team.
Can I showcase the player vaults? I would if the if the servers were up right now. If I could actually get into here. I don't think it will. I don't think it'll let me.
I can talk on that. So the player vault, you can see the physical players, but when you go to download rosters, you're getting a service net code saying that you can't download anything. I've tried downloading a roster, kind of cheating on Scout Scoops, but whatever. Because some of us want to do like some spring training baseball while we wait. You can't even download a roster right now, but you can download players.
So a couple things before we head out here. I'll ask you guys, if you tuned into the stream, to leave a like. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. And then I'm going to give an open period here. If you guys want to ask any questions down in the comment section, now's your chance. We'll try to answer them. And then with that being said, T-Mall, Johnny, maybe you guys, if you have anything you want to say, feel free to put it out there now. T-Mall's got a channel, Diamond King 5923, YouTube, Twitch. He does MLB stuff. So check that out.
Johnny, you got anything?
No, sir.
So my only thing is, go check me out on Twitch and YouTube. Jake, I don't know if you want to promote it, but me and Johnny could still sit down and do a mock draft of the first round with trades.
I'd be up for it.
Over our mock drafts. It's another podcast, another night before the draft next week.
Yeah, I would be up for something like that. We can figure something out.
Yeah, let us know in the chat if that's something you guys are interested in. This was just something that Jake thought of on the fly. Thought this was a good idea. I actually really liked it. It opened my eyes to not being as biased with my two favorite baseball teams.
I don't see any questions, so with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed this process. Maybe we'll do more of this type of stuff in the future. Some more podcast type stuff or live stream type stuff rather than just the traditional videos. If you guys did enjoy, like I said, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button, leave your comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. I can't wait for this franchise to start with the Giants. I hope you guys are excited like I am. It's going to be interesting, especially now with my PC. I can do all the recording and editing, so I can get it more condensed so the videos aren't an hour long like they used to be. Hopefully you guys will enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good night.